My name is Carol FitzSimonds, and I have been a passionate printmaker for over 35 years. I always knew I was going to be an artist. I've just always loved to draw. When I went to college, I got a degree in art history and painting with some printmaking classes. And I graduated, and after I graduated, I started going back and taking classes as I traveled around. I married a military officer, and so I've lived on both coasts, north and south, and moved 16 times in 27 years. And one of my first etching press moved 14 times of the 16. For the longest time, I did nothing but black and white, architectural and carousel images, very powerful. Then in 2001, after 9/11, we moved into this house, and I had a friend that was in the plane that hit the Pentagon, and I did a drawing of a chair for him and a print, and then I decided that I needed to do something totally different. And so I got into floral images. I wanted to do growing things that put down roots, because I knew I was going to be staying here, no more moving. And so I started my flower images. And by that point in time, I had started learning how to make books. So I guess about 20 years ago, I decided that a book was a wonderful way to show my prints. It took them off the wall, and it made them touchable. And so this is a portfolio that I did, and I believe it's 10 prints collection. And so each section is a print. Each one is different. These are monoprints, so part of the image is printed, and then they're gilded and hand painted with enamel and stained, and then they're put back through the press with an embossing plate to get the embossing. And so this series is one series. By the time the series ended, I had done 22 floral prints. Now, I did not make this box. I had this box made by a company in Warren, Rhode Island. I've only learned how to make boxes about 5 years ago. This is one of my star books, and each one of these prints is from a solar plate where I drew on ground plate glass with a pencil. I made the drawing, then I exposed the solar plate to the pencil on the plate glass to sunlight and created the plate, and then I printed each one and I hand colored. So this probably took me about 2 years to make enough images, and then I came up with, I just thought the star pattern was a beautiful way to display these images. And I guess about 2 years ago, I created this box to go with the book. I love making boxes now that I've made. I've learned how to do it. I've made the first couple, and they're so much fun. So another thing that I like to do is I love to collaborate with other artists and to do shows with them that have themes. I created this particular book for a show at the art club with 2 other artists, and the title of the show and the theme were the ties that bind. And so I thought of everything that ties us together. And so the words are on the back: friendship and family, race, country, all these things that tie us together, honor, and language. And these are prints that I made on Jell-O. I took clear Jell-O. I made my plate out of clear Jell-O, super thick. And then these are monotypes. So they're paintings sort of with found objects. And I just worked until I had enough for a book. And so this is just a straight accordion book. And it was just a lot of fun. So. I originally, when I did the black and white aqua tints, I mostly did architectural images, windows and doors and rooms. And as much as I moved, I think in my mind I was kind of building my perfect house. So once we settled here, I decided, after doing the flowers for about 12 years, to go back to the architectural pieces but try them in color. So this is one of my books from that. I call it Beauty in Place. And by walking around Rhode Island and New England, it's how I get to know somewhere, is I take photographs and I make sketches. So I made individual color pencil drawings of different places these are all from Providence. And this is the art club, and down the street. And I just had a lot of fun just exploring the Goddard Partridge Studio building. And this restaurant has since gone out of business in Providence. It just, Dick Blick parking lot. To me, there's just beauty even in the alleyways and the rundown streets and just everywhere you look, and the signs. And so I created this book, and I have been making 3 and 4 color prints. There's a plate for each color from these drawings. And so I turned this one, and I made the box, and I've done a series now. I'm working on my 4th Beauty in Place book, and here are some of the new images I just finished drawing for the next book. And these are all places in Providence that I just love their design and the colors. This one I really loved, with the paint shop just on South Main Street. And so this book will have 20 images in it. And I think it's going to be a straight accordion, but I'm still working on that. I think I have 2 more drawings to finish. And something else that I've always done is I've always drawn figures. And the Providence Art Club offers us a wonderful opportunity. We have 2 figure classes. And so I took some of my drawings. I've been back at it now about 6 years, and I turned them into prints. These are some of the drawings I thought were the most successful, and turned them into, this is my 3rd figure book. So I like to work in series, and I like to go back to things that I've loved doing. When I was first married, that's how I met my husband, as I was drawing figures in college, and I invited him up to see my etchings. And when we were in South Carolina, when we first married, I was in a group of artists, and we drew figures every week. And he went out to sea, and I would have things break or whatever, and I would trade the handyman to fix my vacuum cleaner for a drawing of a nude and things like that. So I've always loved the figure, and it's always come in handy. I decided to do abstracts. I had someone say to me, because most of my work is very realistic, that I didn't understand how to do an abstract. And if you know me, the one thing, if you really want me to do something, is tell me that I can't. And so I just went about doing abstracts and playing around with, and this has got images on both sides, just the colors. And these are washers that I printed. I love Home Depot. You can find the neatest stuff to print. And so I just played with cutting up and making this sort of abstract book box, if you want, with no words, just it can be whatever you want it to be. But I just had fun. And to me, I mean, I do art because I need to, and it's a journey. And hopefully I'm learning and growing and changing. But it's like when I stop learning and it stops being fun, that'll be when I stop. And hopefully that will be never.